you tell them one thing. Just win, baby.
It's because you're not feeling Uzi?
There's no secret the Raiders need to improve on the defensive side of the ball, especially when it comes to their secondary. But luckily enough for them, there's a former first-round cornerback available on the trade block. As of today, according to some reports, the Lions are reportedly looking to move on from cornerback Jeff Okudah. Execs around the league believe that the value for the former number 3 overall pick is only a third-round pick. And if that's true, the Raiders should waste no time sending over one of their third-round picks in this year's draft, and maybe even a late-round pick just to sweeten the deal. Okudah is still a young cornerback, just 24 years old, with so much upside to succeed in this league. And for the Raiders, giving up a third-round pick, maybe the 100th overall pick, would be a small price to pay for a cornerback that could definitely exceed in this defense. Now, the only problem that Okudah has had since being drafted 3rd overall has been staying healthy, only playing in 25 games over his 3-year career. And in that span, he has been able to record 124 total tackles, 10 pass deflections, 6 tackles for loss, 1 forced fumble, 2 interceptions, and 1 touchdown. Last year was the first time he was able to play majority of the season, playing in 15 of the 17 games for the Detroit Lions. So should the Raiders consider trading for Jeff Okudah? For me, I would say hell yes. You get a young cornerback with so much upside at a great price, and also it solidifies our cornerback room so we wouldn't have to draft one in the first round. Of course, we can still continue to add some cornerback depth later in the draft. Plus, Okudah right now is probably more valuable than most of the 3rd round prospects coming out of the draft. So the answer is definitely yes. But what do you guys think, Raider Nation? Let me know your thoughts down in the comments below. In some other news, I know we've talked a lot about quarterbacks in this year's draft and even talked about the possibilities of moving up in the draft to get one. And according to your boy Q from Raidernation Radio, he recently was on the Ups and Adams show, and he said that there is a real possibility the Raiders trade up to the number 3 pick for a quarterback.
Well, I'll tell you, it depends. It depends on who's actually there at number 3. And this is a discussion we've had quite a bit. And it's really coming down to, from everything I've heard, if CJ Stroud or Bryce Young happens to be there at number 3, which I don't think is going to happen, for those 2 guys is available at number 3, I think there's a real possibility that the Raiders go make a move for him. Outside of him or Stroud and Young, I don't think that they will, because there's so many other holes that they have to fill, mainly on the defensive side of things.
Now, that is definitely an interesting take, especially knowing that he does have some ties to the team. I mean, I wouldn't disagree with the quarterbacks that he stated, but I would also probably add Anthony Richardson to that list. Now, a lot of people might think that it's impossible for one of the 2 top quarterbacks to fall to number 3, but there is a chance that it could happen. And it all depends on who the Carolina Panthers choose at number 1. Many speculate that they could take CJ Stroud, and if they do, then I doubt that Young falls to number 3, because, you know, the Houston Texans are really high on Bryce Young. But if somehow, some way, they decide to go with Bryce Young at number 1, then that shakes up the whole NFL draft. A lot of things change, because I don't think that the Texans really have CJ Stroud too high on their list. I mean, well, he is high on their list, but I don't think that he's one of those top guys other than Bryce Young, especially knowing that CJ has the same agent as Deshaun Watson, and who knows if the Texans even want to deal with that moving forward. Maybe they take a chance on Anthony Richardson. You know, crazier things have happened in the NFL draft, so in that case, if Stroud is still there at number 3, I can definitely see the Raiders trying to move up, and I wouldn't mind that at all. I understand that defense is one of the biggest needs for the Raiders, but you know, that's why we have the rest of the NFL draft to worry about that. We have the 2nd round, 3rd round, 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th round, you know, all those rounds in this year's draft to go address that need. But if we have a chance to move up in the draft to get a generational quarterback that could come in and probably don't even have to start right out the gate and could learn under a guy like Jimmy G and Brian Hoyer and learn this system for the future, then I feel like, in my opinion, that's the right moves for the Raiders moving forward. But again, that's just my thoughts. What do you guys think about this? Do you guys feel like the Raiders could possibly move up in the NFL draft if CJ Stroud or even Bryce Young is still sitting there at number 3? Let me know your thoughts down in the comments below. With that said, that's all I have for you guys today. Until the next video, this your boy Simone Raider, and your boy is
Started off in Oakland, now we here. Thought that we was done, we just hit another gear. Look, started off in Oakland, now we here. Hey, pull up with the nation in the silver black gear. Look, 4 games straight, we in the playoffs. Shout out to the Chargers fans, y'all enjoying